He's Jesse Palmer, former NFL quarterback, now college football analyst for the Mothership, and he joins us now. Where do you stand on this with the players? I know it's collectively bargained that this is supposed to be part of the policy that you speak to the media. Should they speak to the media?
Dan, I think they should. Ultimately, I think fans are interested to hear what players want to say, and it's the fan interest in the sport that I think drives the popularity of the game. And obviously, these players make a lot of money. I think they should have to talk to the media at least once a week. Now, it's not like they have to deliver soliloquies or monologues. They should be allowed to answer the questions, obviously, any way they want. If they want to be short, that's fine. But, movie stars make millions of dollars, and they have to walk the red carpet, right? Dan Patrick, you have to walk the red carpet.
Yep.
Don't you?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Is there an art to saying nothing?
Yeah, some people are really good at it. I think what Marshawn Lynch, just did recently, I think is really good. Just keep answering you just keep answering it the same way over and over and over.
But eventually, Jesse, the media will stop asking you questions if you're wasting their time. Now, Greg Popovich was humorous for a while. Now I get bored with it. Then you move on. Belichick, it's Belichick, so you're still going to listen, but they'll eventually move on from Marshawn Lynch, and nobody's going to be camped out at his locker because they realize he won't be saying anything.
Right. Well, if they're as smart as you are, then sure, you just move on. You don't waste your time. But you could be like Allen Iverson and just keep saying practice over and over and over.
But that was entertaining.
They hang around. Yeah, exactly.
That was entertaining.
So, no doubt.
All right. The latest Final Four. Any concerns here, or your concerns 5, 6, and 7?
Well, I think 5, 6, and 7 for the last several weeks, really throughout the entire season, always have a gripe. But personally, to me, I think the committee has it right as it stands right now, with Alabama being number 1, Oregon 2, Florida State 3, and Mississippi State 4. And obviously, with big games still remaining over the next couple of weeks, not just for those top 4 teams, but really, big games for all of those teams, kind of 1 through 7 combined. Moving forward, there's still a lot of room. This thing's still, I think, very, very fluid. But I think the committee's gotten it right now for the last 2 weeks.
All right, let me read an excerpt from Paul Meyerberg of USA Today. It ignores that the Buckeyes have more road wins against top 25 teams this month, or thought another way, more wins against top 25 teams in the last 3 weeks than Mississippi State does all season long, or that TCU, which remains stuck in 5th, has 3 such wins, Minnesota, Oklahoma, and Kansas State, or that TCU can also tout a win at West Virginia on November 1st when the Mountaineers were inside the playoff poll.
Well, I think the committee's kind of proven that they can kind of get over losses. I think when they ranked Oregon over top of Florida State a couple weeks back, even though Oregon lost to Arizona at home, they were proved that they were willing and able to do that. Obviously, I think the issue with Ohio State is the quality of the loss. And I think, losing against the Virginia Tech team that just has not been very good this year, obviously has hurt them. There's no doubt about it. Ohio State is much, much better, much stronger today. The way quarterback J.T. Barrett's played has just been phenomenal. But I really don't have an issue with Mississippi State, sitting at number 4. I don't care what LSU's record is now. But if you go on the road at Death Valley and win at night early in the year, I think that's impressive. And obviously Mississippi State beat an Auburn team that was fully loaded. That was something that, Duke Williams on the field, it was something that Texas A&M didn't have to contend with. Georgia certainly didn't have to contend with that a few weeks ago. And obviously Mississippi State beat an Auburn team that beat Kansas State, and Kansas State's TCU's best win. So, again, I don't have an issue with where the teams are right now. I would still have TCU ranked ahead of Ohio State. My biggest thing I'm interested to see is what happens if Baylor wins out, and you've got 2 11-1 teams, TCU wins out, and you got 2 11-1 teams at the end of the year in the Big 12. Which team gets ranked the highest, and which team puts themselves in the best position to potentially sneak in the playoff.
My big issue, Jesse, is that it should be a level playing field. If we're going to require everybody to sort of step in line with what the college football selection committee is going to see here, I don't have a Big 12 conference playoff game. I don't have a conference game, a championship game, whereas I do in these other conferences. It's an unbelievable advantage for these other conferences. The Big Ten, it used to be Ohio State, Michigan. They ended at Thanksgiving. And then, out of sight, out of mind. Now at least you have your Big Ten title game, the Pac-12 title game. Here's the the Big 12 with no title game there, and I just think that if the committee is going to judge apples to apples, then you can't throw a banana in there, and that's what they've done with this.
Yeah, I guess there's different ways to look at that, and I know strength of scheduling obviously is something the committee has really kind of harped and preached on all throughout. The one thing the Big 12 can say, though, is that they play 9 conference games. Everybody plays each other at least once, even though they don't play a conference title game. There's only 10 teams in that conference, and that's something, of course, the Pac-12 also plays 9 conference games. The SEC only plays 8. I've said now for the last 2 years, I know the SEC is the strongest league in college football, but with 14 teams now, and after you've added Missouri and Texas A&M, you've got to play 9 conference games. Everybody has to play each other as often as possible. I think to truly find, who the best team is in that conference, even though the SEC plays a conference championship game. And I know playing an extra conference game obviously makes it a lot more difficult for a team from that league to reach a playoff and reach a national championship, but that's just what it should be. So you're right. It's they're different. There's different criteria, obviously different scheduling and all these different conferences, which definitely makes it difficult to compare. But that's kind of been the beauty of this whole selection process. It's a beauty contest for these humans and these selection committee kind of watching, and everybody sort of has their own criteria.
He's Jesse Palmer from ESPN. He'll be calling. Well, you're going to work with Brent Musburger. You're going to do Auburn, Alabama?
We are. We're doing the Iron Bowl.
Nice. You get to work with Brent. Love Brent.
Yeah, working with him all year has been it's been awesome. He's a legend, man.
He's fun.
He's unbelievable. Yeah. He's unbelievable, and he keeps it fun, which is awesome. He's so sharp, and the one thing I think that's been really impressive working for him, with him. I probably do work for him. That's probably a good way to put it. But he's such a fan of just sports. He's got a great pulse. He's got his finger on the pulse of college football, but just you could put on college volleyball for 15 minutes, and you would sit down and take interest. He really enjoys what he does, and it's been fun.
Is he strong post game?
Oh, he's strong all the time, man. He brings his A game. He's A game on air, and he's A plus game off air.
Hey, well, have fun this weekend. Happy Thanksgiving to you as always, and great to talk to you again, bud.
You as well, brother.
All right, that's Jesse Palmer.